Did you know that a positive mindset can increase your chances of achieving your business goals by a whopping 33%? That's right, the way you think about your challenges and opportunities can significantly impact your bottom line. Welcome to Dollars and Dreams, the podcast designed to empower you to take control of your personal and business finance. You know, the very thought of money and finance can often send chills down your spine and stir up fear of the unknown. But let's change that narrative together. Through this podcast, my goal is to not only to provide you with useful information, but also to inspire and motivate you to take action towards your own financial goals. Let's rewrite your money story together. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Dollars and Dreams. For those of you who know me quite well, you know I'm an extreme believer in mindset. I think the way we approach things with our mind dictates the actions that we take, whether that be in our business life or our personal life. So today's episode is all about mindset in business. And it's one of the key mindsets that I love, and it's called OARBED. And what that stands for is ownership, accountability, responsibility, or you can have blame, excuse, and denial. And we'll go through what those all mean in a little while. But basically what it means is you'll hear us saying quite often about whether you're operating above the line or below the line. So the above the line is where you take that ownership, accountability, and responsibility for your business, your employees, and your own actions. The alternative is operating below the line, and that's where you'll hear people that will blame others. They'll have every excuse under the sun, and they'll deny that they've actually done anything wrong. When you are in business, operating above the line is really important, both for your consumer, because they know that they're then working with a business owner who is responsible for their own actions, but also for your staff and other people that you use in the community. And so when we operate below the line, we come in with a negative approach. And you've probably quite often heard me talk about glass half full and glass half empty. I'm a glass half full person every single day of the week. And I think that aligns a lot with this OARBED responsibility for my business. I have accountability to my staff and my consumers. And it does really give you a different mindset. And of course, when you take a different mindset with anything in life, but particularly with your business, you set better goals, you make yourself accountable to your business, and you set yourself up for achieving what you want to achieve. When you come into your business with a negative mindset, like everything in life, you're already admitted defeat before you've had a go. And of course, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So let's go through a little bit about my favorite mindset that I use with most of my business owners. And it's certainly something that when I actively thought about this with my own business, it really changed the way my business operated and the way it works. And so basically what it does is it says, I'm actually responsible for everything that happens in this place, even if I didn't do the work. So if one of my staff make a mistake, that mistake is on me. It's not on my staff. It's up to me to show them how to do it better. But that is my mindset as a business owner, that whatever my staff do or whatever is done under my name, then it is mine and mine only responsibility. So mindset will, and a positive mindset obviously, will give you a special skill in life with your business, because what it does is when you have a positive mindset, you believe in what you're doing and how you want your business to be run. And it is, I always say, it's like the athletes lining up for the Olympics. Can you imagine a runner lining up for the 100-meter sprint and going, I've got no chance of winning this? It just wouldn't happen. And of course, if you say that and you're, getting into the blocks and you are telling yourself you've got no chance of winning this race, you're not going to get out of the blocks quickly or well. You're not going to get into the rhythm of your run, and you're not going to give yourself a good chance of achieving what you want to do. So the 4 years of hard work that athlete has done physically can be thrown away completely with that wrong mindset as they step into the blocks. And of course, as business owners, that's the same thing. We work hard to find our customers or our consumers. We work hard to develop our systems and procedures for our business. We work hard to try and make our business profitable. But if we don't have the right mindset, that can be all thrown out the door in, one foul swoop. And I always say it's a bit like when you ring a business to say that there was something wrong with their product that they delivered. The approach that they come back to you will determine the effectiveness of the outcome. So if they just try to blame the courier because they delivered it poorly, if they're trying to blame the manufacturer because it was a manufacturing fault, or if they're trying to say that you didn't use the product as it was, you'll straight away put that wall up and we become very defensive. So that owner, if that was the case, they would be operating in what we call below the line, or we would be operating in the BED system, the blame, excuse and deny. If, on the other hand, you ring customer support to say that the product's not doing what it's supposed to do, etc., you get the opposite side where the business owner says, really sorry about that. Look, we'll organise a replacement for you immediately. We'll courier it so you're not out, for too long without that product. I'll find out what happened in the procedure to get it to you in such a bad state, or whatever that is. That then straight away puts the consumer in a completely different approach to how they're going to handle that poor outcome that they originally got. And so if you were that consumer and you had the response of the second person that I just talked about, straight away your wall stays down. You want to work with that business to come to a positive outcome, and you will more likely get a better result for both you and the business that you bought from. And so what you would probably say is, that's great. Thank you for helping me out. I can't thank you enough for trying to rectify this. And so then you have a different mindset and you will refer people to that business because the same product came in both scenarios, but the reality is the first business owner, you will probably put a negative review on their site. Or when you hear people thinking that they might use that business, you'll tell them of your poor outcome with them or the poor way they dealt with your product that wasn't right. Whereas if you had the second business owner's approach, you would probably put a great review up saying product didn't do what it was supposed to do, but the business owner went out of their way to fix it. And that gives you as a business a far better place to be with your consumers, because of course we always have a look at what our other consumers have found with any business site. So the OARBED framework, so remember it's the ownership, accountability and responsibility, gives that very positive viewpoint to your consumer. And it also gives you a different approach in that if you're working above the line in that OARBED scenario, so working as an OAR rather than a BED, you will have a more positive outcome because you'll look at that and go, something was wrong with my product. What do I need to do to fix it? As opposed to if you were operating below the line, you'd go, something was wrong with the manufacturer. It's not my fault. I can't do anything about it. And so it gives you a very different framework. And remember, businesses will always go well when everything is a good, positive outcome. It's how a business owner assesses a situation and works with a situation when the outcome is not great. And that is the very difference between a successful business and a business that isn't so successful, because it's all about you trying to find a way to fix things rather than you finding a way to pass the buck. And so the above the line and below the line operations of a business owner is what will make it very successful or a more of a struggle business. And it's not just when it comes to your business, it's lots of things. We had a client a few years ago that is not a client here anymore, thankfully. He sucked the living daylights out of me every time I had to sit in a meeting with him, because he was in a trade and his business was in what would have been a cash industry. I'm very strict here as a business owner in my accounting practice that I don't accept businesses that take cash, because I pay tax on all of my income, or my clients pay tax on all of their income, and I expect my business owners to pay tax on their income. But this client would always be coming into the office and he'd always be complaining, and he'd spend half an hour sitting with me and he would be complaining that, it's not fair the amount of tax I pay. I know all these businesses that aren't paying tax and they're living their life, and the government just wants to suck everything out of us. And the whole time that I sat in that meeting, it was exhausting for me trying to listen to that. But the whole time I was sitting there thinking, you just operate your business below the line. Business becomes a struggle when you don't operate in a positive mindset. And for this guy, constantly finding reasons that, he was being done over by the government, by the consumer, by the builder that he was working for, by the homeowner that he was working on. And there was always a reason that he didn't get stuff to us on time, that he didn't have things done. And it would always be, in his mind, valid reasons, because he would always be saying, I'm too busy making sure that my consumers got their job done when they need it done, which is great, no doubt about it. But as business owners, we have more responsibility than just producing our business. We have to run a business. We have government organisations that we have to account to. We have, just building the business. And it is more than just delivering a product. And so this business owner, I'd sit there and he would just complain flat for the whole half an hour. And I'd be sitting there going, you've got a great business. Switch your mindset that, look at this business has given me. Look at all that I've been able to achieve from this. Look at the great things that I've done for the homeowners that I've worked for. And it's just that whole positive mindset. And in the end, we just agreed that we couldn't work together, because I kept saying to him, change the way you think about your business. It's not just delivering your product to your client. It is about running a business, building a business, looking for a strategy to grow. And don't confuse grow with getting bigger and having lots more people. Grow can be getting better profit margins, removing money stress, and all of those sorts of things. So it is important that when you're looking at your business, that you do take that positive mindset. And if you find yourself trying to blame the consumer, we hear it all the time, the product hasn't been delivered. I've been waiting 6 weeks for that part to come in. And I think if you turned that around and said, look, we realise that the manufacturer is out of our control, but we're trying to source another manufacturer, or we're working with that manufacturer to get a more realistic time frame for delivery of products. And it's about taking that switch, that instead of just blaming them and moving on, going, it's out of my control, just turning it around that it is out of my control, but we're trying to come up with a solution and find a way. And that is such a shift that every business owner can do. And of course, it's not just your mindset, that when you change to an above the line process and thought process, it changes the whole ripple effect in your whole organization. So it will shift your mindset. But if you've got any consumers that are quite difficult, it will shift their mindset, because it's really hard when you're a consumer, if you're getting a really positive feedback and somebody that's trying to work with you, it is very difficult to then be negative back. And so instead of dealing with, the customers that are difficult to work with and things, by you changing your attitude to them, they will more than likely, there's some that are outliers that you'll never make happy. But most people, when they get a positive response and somebody that's trying to find a solution for them, they will also change their mindset. And instead of being aggressive or negative or the walls up, it is much easier to work with them. So there's that real ripple effect by you starting that. And of course, if you've got employees or subcontractors that are working with you, if they see you have that real positive mindset that, I'm going to take accountability for my business and I'm going to take responsibility for the product that I deliver. And I'm just going to be a really positive mindset, above the line person. They will then start to see that, because they'll see that as an example of how a business can be run. And look, as a world, wouldn't it be so much nicer to deal with people that have a positive mindset all the time? And like I said, there are some people that doesn't matter what they confront with, they're always going to be negative, but thankfully they are a real minority. So think about that when you're changing your mindset. It's not just about changing your mindset and building your own business. It's about the ripple effect and the culture that you create around your consumers, your staff, your contractors. And that can be a really good thing for your business, because when you have a positive mindset, you don't dislike your business. You don't dislike going to work each day, and work becomes much more enjoyable. And for your impact then on your own personal life, that's a fairly significant impact. So keep in mind when you find yourself moving to that bottom of the line, which is the blame, excuse, and deny. So you're in bed. Take some switches. How can I change this thought that I'm having and make it a more positive thought so that it projects a far better image of my business and myself? And of course, we all know the ripple effect of work. If you've had a really bad day, you come home, the kids are fighting, the husband or the wife's trying to get tea organised and everything's chaotic, or, we tend to fight with our partners. We tend to be a little bit less tolerant with our children, the dog, whatever it is. So getting that real positive mindset at work, where we spend a fair chunk of our day, can make a real difference to how you enjoy your work and therefore how you enjoy your home life. If you come home and you've had a great day at work, your customers have raved about the jobs that you've produced for them, if you've enjoyed the interactions with your consumers and your network of supporters of your business, whether that be contractors, subcontractors, your employees, or your suppliers, if you've had that real positive approach with them, you've enjoyed your day at work, you're more likely to come home and be involved in your family, have a nice conversation with your partner, or even if you don't have a partner or a family at home, you'll actually go home, you'll sleep better, you'll enjoy what you cook for dinner, you won't find home life such a drudge. So it is important to shift that mindset, both for your business goals and your life goals. Now, when I see my clients come in and I can see they're really operating below the line, I tend to work as a gently approach. There's no quick fix for this. Mindset is a continual improvement, and it's something that you need to work on fairly regularly. And so if you find that you're operating below the line, or you're still in bed, and you want to start taking that above the line approach, what you need to do is just find one thing that you're going to change each day. And we've all heard, those things that improve 1% a day in 100 days, you will be significantly different. And it is very true. Habits form on top of habits. And so it is important that you just say, today I am not going to, and give yourself that one thing that you're going to do. And even that statement that I just made is a negative statement. Today I am not going to, because there is that negative of not in there. So change the way you approach everything and just go, today I am going to. And you can see how that's two different ways we look at the mindset. Today I am not going to is still a little bit negative. Today I am, or I will. And as soon as you take that approach, you might say, I am not going to be cranky with anybody. And so change that to, today I am going to be cheerful with everybody. Today I am going to find some good in everything that is done. And that will give you a better approach to changing it. And if you're wanting to change from below the line to above the line, it is those small little steps. Every time you feel yourself wanting to go, oh, I'm really sorry about that. That was Joe in production, missed that point. You just say, I'm terribly sorry. We will have that fixed straight away, and I'll look into how that procedure failed. So that is, you have taken the responsibility for Joe in production line that got it wrong to this is my business, therefore I am going to take responsibility for the product that left this office or plant. So if you find yourself slipping back down below the line, just keep reminding yourself that this is a work in progress. You don't have to change from a below the line to above the line overnight, but it is those practical little steps. Put something up on a whiteboard where everybody can see it, and put the positive things up. You know, if production was up this week, put that up so everybody sees that, because that will show that you're taking accountability for what has been approved in your business. Look at profit and just, look that you've created a better profit margin this week than last week. So the benefits of operating above the line or with the oar in your hand, so ownership, accountability and responsibility, is that it gives you a really empowering feeling that you are taking control of your business. It gives you that real upward motivation and the sense of achievement that we all try to get in our life as well as our business life. And empowerment is a really, really positive approach that we can have to our business. And when you feel empowered, you get like a bit of a Superman charge. And it is very much that when you feel empowered about your business and you're in that driver's seat to make your business work better for you, your staff, your consumer, and everybody, it does give you that sense of purpose that you can do this and you're on top of it. Instead of that real, when you're not feeling empowered, you feel like you're drowning in everything, that all this paperwork's got to get done. I haven't done that. I haven't done this. I haven't, spoken to my staff. My staff are ringing in sick and I know they're not sick. And it does give that circling the drain feeling with your business, that everything is a struggle and everything is difficult. So just try doing some positive little changes in the way you approach your business, the way you approach a situation in your business, and take empowerment from that so that you feel that you have your business under control rather than it being control of you. Operating above the line also gives you the ability to problem solve, because when we operate below the line, we never look at how we can solve a problem because it was never our fault. It was always Joe in production or Cindy in accounts or Mac that's in delivery. So, there is always somebody else's fault. And so when it is somebody else's fault, you never have that feeling that you can change it because it's never your fault. It's nothing to do with you. And so you will always take that real negative approach to everything. The consequences of not being able to problem solve is that nothing changes. And so your business will then get a bad name because it delivers a bad product or it doesn't meet its time limits or time frames that it said it would for delivery. The product is not fit for what it is advertised to do. There's lots of reasons that your business will then become a struggle, not only for you, but financially, because your consumer will turn away. So when you switch to above the line and you start to say, well, this is my business, this is my product, this is my name that's on the line, you will then find a way to solve whatever the issue was that was in your business. And so it gives you that automatic problem solving because it is yours. And so it's a little bit like when you're at home and you just go, I can't get all this work done. You'll problem solve to find a way to get the work done on the weekend so that you're ready to go back to work on Monday. So take that same approach into your business. It also gives you lots of resilience. So instead of feeling overwhelmed, as I said, you will have a sense of empowerment, and therefore you then don't feel like everything's on top of you. You feel like you can look for the blind spots that could be in your business. It gives you the motivation to change and make your business and yourself better. And it means that having lots of resilience in when things go wrong, you don't throw in the towel. And every business, I don't care how successful a business is, there is always times that is difficult. You know, we've seen through COVID, getting product delivered was difficult. So if you are an above the line operator, you just go, this is the way of the world. I need to adjust my business to account for that. If you were operating below the line, you go, I can't do anything about it. It's not my fault that I can't get stock into the country. So it does give you that resilience to ride the highs and lows that you don't get when you're operating below the line. And of course, when you're operating above the line, your automatic thing is that you'll have growth, because when you take accountability and responsibility for your business, it will automatically grow because you give a good feedback. You look at what's good with the business, what's not so good with the business, what's going wrong in the business's processes or growth or market, and you will take responsibility for that. So you take ownership for the growth of your business to secure both your own financial life and the financial life of those that work with you. And it's something that we quite often get here. We have some clients that probably want to push the limit with what they can claim in their business as a business deduction. And my comment to them is always in a very nice way, but I am not going to risk my livelihood and the livelihood of my staff to save you paying some tax when I've told you can't claim it. And for me, that's not being negative to a client, although some may see it that way and some have seen it that way, don't get me wrong. It's about me taking ownership for my business. And by saving somebody, a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 in tax, I risk my whole business, and I risk the reputation of my business. I risk me not having a livelihood anymore, me potentially going to jail, but also I risk the livelihood of my staff, and I would put them under financial pressure. And so that's me taking ownership of my business. And so by telling a client that I'm really sorry, I don't care that you want to claim it, we are not claiming it, is about me saying, this is my business. I work on for you, but I don't work exclusively for you, and I don't work as part of your business. You are a client of mine, yes, but you are not my only client, and you are not going to dictate how I run my business. And so by doing that, I've taken ownership of the legalities of my business. I've taken ownership of the reputation of my business, but I've also taken ownership of the longevity of my business, because I would never want to be seen as a business owner that breaks the tax laws. Happy to work with the tax laws, happy to work within the limits of those tax laws and ensure that people get all the deductions that they can get. But I am not going to cross that line for anybody, because it's not just me, it is my staff. And that then gives them the empowerment to know that I've got their back. And so if a client says to them, my friend said I can claim it, I want to claim it, it gives them that empowerment to say, I'm really sorry, we're not the accounting firm for you, because we won't risk our reputation to save you some tax. As I said, we're a business that works very ethically and morally, and I'm happy to make sure that every client gets every single deduction that they can get, but I will not go over the line and push somebody to where they've crossed the line in legalities. And so that fosters then a sense of growth for my staff. And that's where I say that, it's the ownership, it's the accountability, and it's the responsibility. I have a responsibility not only to myself, but to every single one of my staff and their family. I would hate to see my business go under because I wasn't responsible for it, or I didn't have the accountability or the ownership of it. And if it went under, and I had to then tell my staff they didn't have jobs anymore, but they then have to go home and tell their family. And that one is the one that would make it so much harder for me. And of course, as I said earlier on, OARBED goes beyond just the business. It comes back to your family life as well. And everything that I say we do here within businesses is something that everybody should be doing in their own family life as well. So when you go home to your family, try working on this OARBED approach with them. If dinner's not ready, instead of going, it's not my fault, you kids hadn't cleaned up the thing and I had to do that, it's your responsibility to make sure dinner's on the table on time. So you then have to say to the kids, instead of, picking up after them, hey kids, I've got to get dinner on the table. You need to help me out. Go clean up that kitchen or whatever it is. Or the responsibility of making sure that your family budget means that you're not going to go into financial stress. And as we all know, that financial stress is the greatest cause of relationship breakdown. So take those OARBED approach back home with you and you finished business through the day, and look at the shift that happens in your family and in your home life. So instead of blaming somebody that's, you can't afford to pay the credit card this month because of, find a way. So don't spend what money you don't have. Make sure that you, if you know that you're going to have a shortfall, look at things before they happen to take ownership of it. It also builds your home life as a team life. And quite often we hear our clients saying to us all the time that I've got to go home and I've got to do everything, I've got to do this, et cetera, et cetera. When you take that OARBED approach home to your own life, it does get your whole family working together as one to build that real team effort that we all need in our family life. All right, well, that's it for today's podcast. I'm really hoping that the power of OARBED has made you think about not only your business life, but also your personal life, and how you can take a much more positive glass half full approach and change the way you think and act around your business and the way our family life runs as well. So just a reminder, OARBED is ownership, accountability, and responsibility. So they're the three real tasks that you need to do to operate above the line and take that real growth mentality. Below the line operation is blame, excuse, and deny. And that's the real glass half empty, and the ones where it's something that you can't control when you really can control it. So if you need any help, reach out to us here. I have got a video and a download going up onto our website, jenrichardson.co, on OARBED. It is a really, really powerful mindset shift that every one of us can do in our lives to give us greater satisfaction and empowerment in our lives. So anyway, that's it for me. I will see you on Thursday if you're looking to listen to our podcast on personal finance, or if business finance is all you're coming to our podcast for. I'll see you next Tuesday. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll get our podcast notifications when they land. And reach out to us on our socials. We're on the usual socials, so Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and of course YouTube, where you could be watching this video. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye. Remember, the advice shared in Dollars and Dreams is general in nature, and it does not consider your own personal circumstances. Dollars and Dreams is for educational purposes only and should not be relied upon to make investment or financial decisions. If you need more help, please reach out to a financial advisor for tailored personal advice. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. And please leave me a review. Your feedback really helps me to reach other people chasing their money dreams. You can find me over on Facebook and Instagram to connect with me. You will find the link in the bio or head over to my website at jenrichardson.co, where you will find free content and learning tools.